This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Welcome back to the program. We have guests from NeuroKinetics here in Vancouver. Philippe Silvestre and Sonia Dale are with NeuroKinetics, and we've been talking about brain injuries and the fact that this is a clinic that in many, many cases is the one that people go to after they've been to everywhere else. And as Philippe described to me moments ago during the break, some see us as a clinic of last resort. And then, once they get there, go, you know, we really should have just come to see you in the first place. We really would have avoided a lot of time-consuming anxiety over these past few years. Yes. So talk to us a little bit about those, because we've been, I've been at least framing the conversation in the sense of Vancouver people. Oh, and I was going to do the website, too. I was going to spell NeuroKinetics, NeuroKinetics. NeuroKinetics.com is the website, right?
Yes, Sterling, but there's an easier way. It's renewme.ca.
Well, that's much easier to say and spell. RenewMe.ca.
That is correct.
And that's the phone. Is that the phone number? Is it 604 Renew Me?
That is correct.
Okay. So, you're very clever. You just wanted to hang me out to dry and make me spell NeuroKinetics a lot. So it's RenewMe.ca, and that'll shoot you through to the NeuroKinetics page.
That is correct, yes.
RenewMe.ca. All right. Well, that's very sneaky. I like that. So, Philippe, talk to us a little bit about the treatment programs that you do, not only for Vancouver and BC people, but for abroad. Once you define, as we've described, the process of assessment and the three separate meetings and hours of discussion and forensic investigation, medical history, and all of that. Once all of that information is available, and from it, a treatment program emerges. How frequently would a person be treated? For example, is it something you do once a month, once a day, once a week? And I suppose that you can't generalize, but typically, how frequently would a brain-injured person receive ongoing treatment?
This is a very important question because it will demonstrate the nature of what we do. We have brackets, of course. First of all, we are tied and bound to physiological laws, so we cannot cheat Mother Nature.
Okay.
To succeed in what we do, we have to follow physiology, we have to follow a lot of natural laws which are make our makeup, whether biophysical, whether biochemical, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
So in short, the treatment program minimum time, whatever the number of sessions per day or per week, will be 12 weeks. It belongs to another paramount physiological laws. So we cannot finish the program earlier than 12 weeks of somehow sustained stimulation.
Okay, so a typical program would last 12 weeks. With what sort of frequency in those 12 weeks? Once per week, Philippe? Twice per week? What would be recommended?
Okay, it would be better to say 12 weeks minimum.
Okay.
Some patients succeed very well and stabilize very well within 12 weeks. Some won't, and there is always a good reason for that, which is explained to them through the process.
Mm-hmm.
So light patients, for example, as we call it, would require probably a session per day every second day. No more than that.
All right.
A heavy patient may require 3 sessions per day, 6 days a week. So you see the brackets can be big.
So if you're doing 6-day-a-week sessions, then you are probably in some acute physical disability.
Well,
or a discomfort, at
it's
least.
a mix of acute and chronic, very often.
Okay.
Because your chronic conditions will always decompensate and exacerbate, transforming part of it into an acute flare, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now I know that we were talking during the break. You have patients coming from Australia, for crying out loud. You had people flying in from Calgary and coming in from Toronto. That's one thing, but you're bringing them in from really Asia, Australia, Europe. Tell us about that, and how do people in Asia and Australia know more about you than we do here in Vancouver?
I don't know. I don't have the answer. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's essentially word of mouth.
Right.
We don't advertise. We don't market ourselves. We don't have the time to do it. We don't have the competencies to do it. And I cannot explain otherwise than what we live with. Over half of our patients are flying patients from another continent or another country.
And they've just heard about you through a connection of friends. And does the medical community also recommend you or refer people to you as well?
Yes. The medical community begins to be more and more aware about what we do and takes us as a resource for what they cannot achieve. And we are actually working in an open loop, so we are not exclusive at all. We are rather inclusive, and I enjoy working with other colleagues.
Okay, so Sonia, I'm trying to see how the balance would work. If you've got people coming in from abroad,
Yes.
and obviously you're very interested in treating people who live a little closer than that and who have a little more better access to go home in the evenings after some of their treatments.
That is correct, yes. However, it's just easier once they are here, yes, they are local, depending upon once they're done their treatment program as well. If they do need to come in, once a month or 3 months after or 6 months after, they can. We do actually have a fly-in patient, a lovely girl who I can roughly say came in for pain, and we discovered there's about 6 or 7 other things that's resulted because of that pain. So, I mean, we have that. We had another patient that was very committed. He was a pilot. He flew in regularly, came in from Calgary, who used to fly in, get treatment done from Dr. Philippe. So, I mean, there's a few of them. I can go on and on and on and list off former patients, but I mean, there's a few.
But you talked, Philippe, earlier in the program about the integration in your mind and the way you do business at NeuroKinetics, the integration of Eastern and Western medical thinking, and how that allows then the best of both to be available to you and your team.
Yes.
That's important, isn't it?
It is key.
And I'm just talking about, again, it's always the big picture. You were just talking about the woman who flew in,
Yes.
and because she had pain.
Yes.
And then it was discovered, surprise, surprise,
Yes.
that there were all sorts of other issues going on.
That's
Philippe,
correct.
it's always about the big picture. It's that traditional Chinese in Eastern medicine thing. It's always about the big picture. Everything is connected, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, and that would be an important and probably eye-opening part of the assessment process, wouldn't it?
It is.
And I'll bet you more than a few patients go, whoa, I didn't see that one coming.
That's correct.
They
yes.
all say that.
Yes.
Yes.
And yet you're able to start connecting the dots.
Yes.
And sorting it all out. How long had this woman who's currently a patient, how long had she been living with pain before she finally came to NeuroKinetics?
She's been living it for about 10 plus years. She's a former patient, actually.
Okay.
I can probably say for even students or children, there is a current patient that I can roughly think of that I can give a little bit of information on is even activities related in school, for example. School-related activities can lead to injuries. Therefore, we can help with that as well. That
Right.
lead into certain other traumatic stuff in life.
Almost out of time, and just on the flip of that seeing children's coin, Philippe, it's never too late either. This is BoomerLife. We're talking to, shall we say, people who are slightly more mature than children. But if you're living with chronic pain and you're 65, so what? You can still get it fixed, can't you?
There's a truth, fundamental truth, which is never dismounted through my career. Time is not preventing anything about recovery and healing. What I learned in some textbooks at medical school have been found obsolete and inaccurate.
Right. And, if it's all about quality of life, and there's nothing in the Constitution anywhere that says you have to suffer because you're now over 65 and that's what happens. You don't. And, check it out, friends. NeuroKinetics.com, or what was the shortcut, Sonia?
It's renewme.ca, Sterling.
Renewme.ca. Sonia Dale and Philippe Silvestre, thank you so much for popping by.
Thank you very much.
I hope we'll have a chance to do this again. Boy, have we ever got a lot to talk about.
Sure do.
It was a pleasure to be here.
And we'll see you next time, right here on Boomer Life.